we are going to discuss about food fermentation. As we all know that the food spoilage is a major concern of a country because according to MOFPI, about 25 to 30% of fresh fruits and vegetables are spoiled because of inadequate, timely, we can say transport, storage and processing after the harvestation. So the food fermentation is one of the measures that can be taken to preserve the food. So food fermentation is not a new technology or new word. It is an oldest term and is being utilized from the very thousands of years. The major food products that are produced using the fermentation process are bread making, cheese manufacturing and production of wines and alcoholic beverages. Fermentation therefore can be defined as it is a chemical modification of organic compounds or raw material or agricultural commodities with the aid of enzymes that are produced by microorganisms that are surrounding in the environment and that are present in that particular product. So what benefits of fermented food provide is, first, one of the major benefit is nutritional value of the food get increased. So the certain flavors such as sweet, sour, alcoholic, meat-like flavors are obtained due to the fermentation of the food because of the microorganisms are present in that, and the fermentation provides in itself a particular flavor. And beside providing the fermentation, these fermentation also increases the bioavailability of a particular vitamins and particular amino acids. Beside nutritional value, other beneficial changes that are observed due to fermentations are improvement in the profile of texture, aroma in the food product. We can say the preservation through lactic acid, alcoholic, acetic acid and alkaline fermentations occur, which provide a particular texture to the final product, and they get enriched with the basic particular vitamins or amino acids, essential fatty acids. And the detox, the major advantage is the detoxification of the toxic compounds that are present in that food product is lost. The nutritional quality of the fermented vegetables and food, if we consider, mainly the fresh fruits and vegetables are fermented so that the seasonal availability of that fruits and vegetable increases. And if we say what major vitamins or what major foods are being fermented are cabbage, cucumber, green olives, carrots, onion and various other products are fermented. Beside that, the beneficial dietary effect also is provided by the food fermentation process, and what that particular thing provides, after fermentation, that the availability of the fiber increases, and fiber in itself help in we can say decreasing the rate of heart diseases, or we can say the obesity or diabetes, or we can say non-communicable diseases. And besides this, the bacteria also produces a number of metabolites which are beneficial for the human health. They help in preventing the tumor formation which occurs in the body due to the normal metabolism, due to the production of free radicals. And lactic acid producing bacteria also inhibit the formation of carcinogenic compounds. Carcinogenic compounds are the cancer causing agents, and they reduces the growth of enzymes and the production by the intestinal bacteria. And these bacteria in the fermented food, if they are taken as a food, they change the microflora that is normally present in our gut. So the bad microbiota of our gut is decreased and good microbiota level of our gut is increased. The protection of vitamin C in the fermented food occurs. That is another major advantage of food fermentation. So vitamin C usually get lost when we do cooking of that particular food which is rich in vitamin C, because it is heat susceptible. So in India we are not we do not include fermented vegetable in our dietary system. However, in Europe, North America and Korea, cabbage and other several vegetables are fermented at higher level of vitamin C. Therefore, the vitamin C is rich there, and we can say the deficiency prevalence also is less there. The mineral preservation Mainly, we can say that there is the bioavailability of iron, which increases due to the food fermentation. Reduction in nitrate content is one of the another advantage, as nitrate is a carcinogenic compound. It causes the cancer. So if the food fermentation occurs, the nitrogen compounds are broken down, and we can say the amount of nitrates present in that food after fermentation decreases, so that toxic compound is detoxified and it provides the beneficial effect. Improved digestibility, as the major major compounds, they are decomposed, or we can say they are broken down to the simpler compounds, so they are easily digestible. Some of the harmful effects of fermentation, or we can say some limitations of food fermentation, are also there. For example, number of amines are formed due to the fermentation of cabbage, carrot, pepper and turnip, and thus their higher concentration causes the unpleasant flavor, and the final product they provide a little bit toxic effect also. Ingestion of certain amines, these ingestion, if the amount, or we can say the consistency of that food product ingestion is high, or it is continuously consumed for a longer period of time, so these amines can cause headache, fever, vomiting, and beside that, during that fermentation process, D-lactic acid is also produced, that depending upon the type and number of the lactic acid producing bacteria, and this form of lactic acid is not assimilated in the body, and therefore they get eliminated in the kidney, and the load of the kidney increases because of the infiltration of that salt gets difficult. General methods of fermentation. How fermentation is basically done? It is done in it is of two types. First is aerobic fermentation. Aerobic fermentation is the fermentation that is carried out under the aerobic condition, that is in the presence of oxygen, and that is required for that oxygen is required for the production or the growth of the microorganisms that creates the fermentation, or that is responsible for the fermentation. So aerobic fermentation is basically of two types, that is solid state fermentation and submerged culture fermentation. Solid state fermentation refers to the growth of microorganisms on the solid material without the presence of a liquid. So it is usually economic, and less of expensive equipments are required for it. But for submerged culture fermentation, this method of fermentation is practiced for several years, but though it is a little bit higher, it requires a higher sophisticated equipment for the fermentation process. Anaerobic fermentation, these are carried out by strict anaerobes, or we can say facultative anaerobes, such as bacteria and yeast, in the absence of oxygen. And these are some of the examples of anaerobic fermentation, such as the fermentation of ethanol by Saccharomyces cerevisiae, brewing, lactic acid fermentation, acetone and